Hi there, so yesterday was a really significant day in terms of my development. I was out shadowing a lawyer, which was a really unique experience for me. The way that came about is because obviously Steve has been telling me keep my eyes out for opportunities. Now I don't know if you look back at my blogs quite a while back, I've actually met with a lawyer before through keep my eyes out for opportunities. However, Steve is now saying we've got to go to the next stage, no longer just meetings but see what we can get out of it. From there, Stevie had then gave me a contact details for a lawyer that he knows in the past, and it just shows how he's joining up the dots and using his relationships. And I contacted, the lawyer's name is Billy Smith, so I contacted him, sort of explained who I am, what I'm doing just now, and what I would quite like to get, and from there he said I should meet with him. I went and met in his own office with him, and it was quite a big step for me because it was out of my comfort zone, out of the KDS premises, and out of seeing him. However, after discussion with him, he then invited me to spend the day with him, and this is how I got on.
I wouldn't really say I was nervous about emailing Billy, for in my head I thought about what it would take for me to achieve my goal of becoming a successful lawyer, and making connections like these is a vital step. My day began in the office where Billy was preparing for a court case, and he had given me a brief overview of what it was all about. He told me that this was an everyday type of case in the life of a lawyer, but I had found it really interesting nonetheless, which is a good sign. As I've emphasised, the courtroom environment was not what I expected, and I was constantly absorbing my surroundings. Our case was initially delayed for a short while, but this provided me with the chance to speak to other lawyers and get a better feel for the court. Arriving back at the office, I assisted Billy with essential paperwork for an upcoming case which he was working on. Although this was time consuming, I was quite glad to be doing it, as it demonstrated the reality of the work which goes into a case before even stepping into the court. And of course, because I was assisting Billy in this, it wasn't as if I was just doing a simple task which he had set aside for me to complete. Instead, it was a concrete example of part of the role of a lawyer. Some of the terms were quite complex, but as we worked I was asking a countless number of questions. Billy had explained to me that this had been a typical day, and I appreciated this as it was providing me with real work experience. I really enjoyed hearing about such a diverse range of cases. It had demonstrated to me the wide spectrum of people which Billy would see on a daily basis. Billy had seemed impressed when I contacted him, and as you know, he offered to meet with me. This would suggest that he's not seen someone use an initiative and do this before, which is something I would recommend. I feel that I'm now at an advantage, for I've not yet begun my university course, yet I'm opening doors to the law industry. I can acknowledge that when I'm about to leave university, particularly for law, students will be fighting to secure a good traineeship, so I need to stand out. I'm fortunate to have Stevie supporting me, as his wealth of experience in business means he has many contacts readily available, which I'll try to make the most of.
Hello everyone at KDS, my name is Billy Smith. I'm a solicitor. I'm a sole practitioner with Clarity Law Scotland Limited, and it's been my absolute pleasure today, being Thursday the 17th of February, to have invited Sarah Jane Sarkosh to join me in a full day of basically being a lawyer in a sole practitioner's office. The reasons why I was so very keen for Sarah Jane to come into my office are that, first of all, Sarah Jane herself is very, very keen to follow further education in law, and was also very, very keen to see how a solicitor's office runs. Having been in law for a number of years, I've seen a number of students come out of university without any sort of practical experience whatsoever in law, and they jump into their traineeships with expectations of what the law will deliver to them, and sadly all too often they find it to be quite different. So I'm delighted that Sarah Jane at her young age has taken it upon herself to contact myself and spend a day with me going through generally what a solicitor's office involves, going to the court, and thereafter looking at drafting certain actions and whatnot. So to all at KDS, I wish you all very well, and I very much wish Sarah Jane Sarkosh all the very best in her further studies in the years to come. Thank you.
Hi there, so now you've seen what I got up to yesterday. I think it was really important that I had that experience because it was really unlike what I had in my mind. Now, Stevie has told us we need to get experience now. We can't go to university and then afterwards be put into the working environments that we want to go into and not have a clue. And actually it was really reinforced yesterday when I seen that, because I had ideas in my head of what it was going to be like, for example, in the courtroom. It was completely different, and it wasn't a nasty surprise or anything. It was just a sort of like wake-up call. I would have went through uni and I wouldn't have thought to go and make these connections prior to going to uni. and I wouldn't have had a clue what to do afterwards. And like when I was speaking to Billy and he was saying, no, you're doing the right thing. So really I think I'm really glad that through my mentoring with Stevie I've done this. It just sort of shows that we need to be proactive in what we're doing and making the connections now so that we're prepared afterwards, because I wouldn't have had a clue what it would be like, and I'm really glad I've had this.